and also the hardest difficulty, fusion mode, is locked behind an amiibo. It's like, what? And bear in mind, like, amiibos disappear, and you can't pick them up anymore. It's like, oh great, now here's just some game content I cannot access. Because you've locked it behind physical DLC. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's fantastic, thanks Nintendo. And so that's part of my issue with the whole Toys to Life thing as well. That a lot of your game content is locked behind physical content, which I'm not overly fond of. I've heard the Skylanders games as games are actually pretty fun, but that's kind of going to be where I'm leaving them. I'm not going to be doing the Skylanders series. And then, like, if we keep going long enough, maybe we'll come back around and do the Reignited trilogy.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
Yeah, we'll go long enough. Maybe we'll come back around and do the Reignited trilogy. That'd be fun. But as it is for the minute, Spyro trilogy. Do want to do Enter the Dragonfly. Get a proper look at how that game is, and then the Legend of Spyro trilogy. And that'll take us a good amount of time as we go through a lot of other content as well. So it's the thing with basically all your levels, you can leave them at pretty much any time.
After you've freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger, it'll take you back to the artisan home. But first let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
So essentially you can jump in those, or you can just push exit level on the pause menu at any time, and you keep everything you've collected, so you can leave these levels at any time. And there's no real incentive to collect anything beyond what you need to progress to the next world. That said, what you need to progress to the next world changes with every world. With this one, we need to collect 10 dragons, which we have done already. So we could just straight up go to the next world and leave all the other levels. We're not gonna, because we're showing every level off, and we're gonna go for 100% actually. Because it's a fun game to get 100% in, I think. Fully explore the levels, have some fun with it. I think the second world requires you to have a certain amount of gems, which can be an issue if you've been ignoring all the gems as you've been going just to get the dragons. Like, if you consider it like a Mario 64 kind of idea, the gems are basically the coins while the dragons are the stars. That's not entirely true.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
So that's an idea that kind of dropped in the sequels, the triangle button to drop in the middle of a flight. Because what they ended up doing with Spyro 2 is they introduced the hover ability, where if you press triangle at any point, you do come to an almost complete stop, but you also do a little hover, which gives you a little extra height, and that becomes essential for some of the trickier gliding sections. And going back to Spyro 1 after Spyro 2 and 3, and forgetting you don't have the glide can be really irritating, because there are some really tricky glides you have to do in this game. So I think this is probably the most irritating level to get 100% on in the first world, in the Artisan's land, or world, or whatever they call it. You can fully charge those guys down, usually. I recommend getting close enough and then just flaming them, though. It's so much simpler. There is also invisible walls. But yeah, like this this level's kind of irritating to get all the gems in. Because of this area up here, which is a lot more open. It's not as focused as like the rest of the levels are. This really only happens once though, like this. There are a few other levels in the game where getting all the gems can be really irritating. One in particular I'm thinking of, Treetops I think it is. That'll be in the third world. Because that requires some very specific jumps. But we'll get to that as we get to it. So I'm guessing it's 200 in this world. Yeah, and there is the well that I skipped, which I did skip for a reason. There's a chest down there that I'm pretty sure requires a key, but let's go take a look just to be sure. So you jump down here, there is a dragon here, and I'm sure there's a chest that requires a key. Yeah, there is right there, and we don't have the key yet, I don't think.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong. Like me.
Sure.
So let's check it out. We don't have the key for it, so we need to go and find the key in the level. That's probably got the rest of the gems in, or most of the gems. Okay, so I think this was a dead end. Yeah, just a circular room with a dragon. The other one led to the level exit. And so this can become like one of the major issues with a game like this. When you're just trying to find the last few collectibles. Yeah, no, this game is pretty much a collectathon kind of game. And it can get really irritating when you're just missing a few collectibles. And you don't want to leave until you've got them. Spyro 1 doesn't have any required backtracking. Spyro 2 has the abilities that you get as you go through the game. You get new abilities by paying money bags, which, you know, is always fun. The key is going to be somewhere around here. And then you have to backtrack in Spyro 2 to get some of the last few items with those abilities that you got. And Spyro 3, you have all the abilities from Spyro 2, and the backtracking comes in the form of your animal friends that you free. Like there's a level in the first world that requires Sheila the kangaroo, but you have to free Sheila the kangaroo before you can do it. And there's various other levels like that. And all the animals have their own levels, but then some levels have side sections that require those animals. So you need to free them and then backtrack to finish those levels off. Which, you know, your opinion on that is your own, whether you like it or not. I'm not overly fond of it, but I also enjoyed Spyro 3 less than Spyro 2 because of the animals. Although we'll see if that changes, because I was playing on the Vita and a lot of the control for them was set to a controller, and I didn't have the second set of shoulder buttons. Where is this key? Is that a particular spot I have to glide to?
Later.
Alright, so I found what I'm looking for. And it's this side area here near the exit. So we get the key, a bunch more gems. Which also means that that chest that we have to unlock is only going to have like 2 gems in it, amounting to 10. So, you know, that was fun to run around for like 5 minutes. Alright, let's get this one done. Oh, you know, it has like 5 gems adding up to 10. Alright, so let's get out of this level. Not sure how many levels we got left in the Artisan's home world, or whatever it's called. We still got the boss level, there's the hidden flying level. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. That might be it, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to... Should we head to the boss? Yeah, we'll go to Sunny Flight first. The first of the flying levels. And this one's actually hidden. What you need to do is... step on all 5 of these. And it opens it up. To find that out, actually, there's a dragon in a later world that will tell you that. And that's how you find that out. And so this is the first of the flying levels, and these are timed levels where you have to destroy everything. And they can be really tricky, but all it really requires is figuring out the pattern. Once you've got the pattern down, you should be able to hit everything you need to in the required time. And so it's a case of figuring out what to go for when and where. Pretty sure those crystals are something I need. But chances are we're not going to get all of these in one go. Come on. There we go. And it's not a bad thing to fail these, at least once, because, you know what, let's go down. There we go. It will tell you what the other thing you need is. Okay, so we need the barrels, the archers, the planes, and we also need chests. Alright, so let's go. Like I said, there's a specific sequence you want to go after these things in to really maximize your time spent. And this way? Nope, that was wrong. Alright. But we head back here, we can go through all the arches at least. No, I want to start this again. Alright. So you don't be afraid to fail these a few times to try and get the pattern down. Because once you figure it out, each of these does basically have a specific order you really want to go at them in. And if you can figure out the order, it's usually just like a clear pathway between all of them. That can be really convenient. I feel like I'm doing this second half backwards though. Want that other plane guy. And the last one. Where's the last one? There he is. Okay, we finish off the arches. And really, once you've found one of the of a sequence, you'll be able to follow a pathway that will lead you to the rest of them. Usually, like, we just keep going this way, we'll find the rest of the arches, and this should also lead us to the treasure chests. The question is whether we can get it fast enough. Nope. So yeah, we definitely did this wrong. 3 more. There we go. So that was done wrong, but we managed to make it work. And that's the first flight level, and there's one for each world. And so we've got one more level for the artisans, and that is the boss, Toasty.